Hello everyone, and now this is round 8 between Loewenthal and Morphy. This is the 8th game between these two players, and Morphy is leading with 5.5 points, and Loewenthal only has 1.5 points. Morphy is leading and winning the series of games with 4 extra points. That's a huge advantage for Morphy. And Loewenthal is probably slowly losing to hope, but he needs to win this time. So Loewenthal doesn't have any luxury for losing any games. He needs to win, maybe every game. Otherwise, he's going to lose the match anyway. So this game was played on July 30 in 1858 London, and Morphy has the white pieces. So Morphy starts the game with playing e4, e5, knight to f3, d6. We have the Philidor's defense, d4, e takes on d4, queen takes on d4. The exchange variation of the Philidor's defense, bishop to d7, bishop to e3, knight to f6, knight to c3, bishop to e7, bishop to c4, knight to c6, attacking the queen. And Morphy played queen to d2, knight to e5, knight takes knight, d takes on e5, and Morphy castled. So is Loewenthal, both players castled. f4, bishop to d6, f5, bishop to c6, queen to e2 by Morphy. We have h6 by Loewenthal. If knight takes on e4, then knight takes knight, bishop takes on e4. And after this move, it looks like black is winning. Black has one extra pawn, but Morphy would play queen to g4, attacking the bishop. So let's say bishop takes on c2, rook to f2, attacking the bishop again. Bishop to a4, then we have bishop to h6, after saving the bishop. So if g6, then f takes on g6. If pawn takes pawn, then queen takes. On g6, the pawn is pinned, and black is getting checkmated, as you can see. But in that position, of course, white has lots of attacking opportunities. But on the other hand, black could play some accurate moves like attacking the bishop instead of saving the bishop. Anyway, let's get back to the game, but of course, that looks very annoying, so that's why Loewenthal didn't capture the pawn, and he played h6. Rook from a to d1, lining the rook with the queen, queen to e7, bishop to d5, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes on d5, f6, queen to g4, c6, saving the rook, bishop to c5, queen to g3, rook from a to d8, rook from f to d1, rook takes rook, rook takes rook, rook to d8, bishop takes on c5, attacking the queen, queen takes on c5, queen to f2, blocking. And after this move, Loewenthal captures the queen, queen takes on f2, king takes on f2, exchanging the rooks, c takes on d3, c5, Morphy played g4, king to f8, a4, b6, king to g3, king to f7, king to h4, king to f8, king to h5, king to f7, b3, king to f8. And both players are playing for the pawn endgame. Well, who is going to win? But in this position, according to the computer engine, this position is a draw. So we have king to g6, king to g8, h3, king to f8, h4. So Loewenthal is defending the pawn. He played king to g8, defending on g7. Morphy played g5. H takes on g5, pawn takes pawn. F takes on g5, king takes on g5. King to f7, king to h4, king to e7, king to g4, king to f6, king to h5. a6 by Loewenthal. King to h4, g6, a5. And of course, Morphy is threatening to capture the pawn. A takes on b6 and then promoting a queen. So this is why, of course, Loewenthal captured the pawn. Or maybe black could push the pawn. And that was okay also, I think. So b takes on a5, f takes on g6, king takes on g6, and still the position is a draw. King to g4, a4 by Loewenthal. Paul Morphy captures the pawn, b takes on a4, a5, king to f3, king to f6, king to f2. Maybe Paul Morphy should stay in the third rank. And after staying in the third rank, defending the king, defending the threats against black king should be much more easier. So we have king to f2, king to f7, king to g3, king to g7, king to f2. Well, according to the computer engine, I am not saying this, but according to the computer chess engine, this position is a draw, which is very interesting. So, watch and see. We have king to f6, king to g1, king to g5, and king to g2, king to f4. And everything is about to change. That's why Paul Morphy should stay in the third rank. And defending would be much more easier for white. King to f2. But now, Loewenthal played a killer move. And can you guess that move? What would you do in this position if you had the black pieces? Can you guess the killer move of Loewenthal? Well, Johann Loewenthal played c4. And this is the killer move. After c4, Paul Morphy is in big trouble. Well, Paul Morphy captures the pawn, d takes on c4. But then king takes on e4 and everything is falling apart for Paul Morphy. But let's take it back. If let's say king to e2, then c3 is the killer move. And after c3, let's make a move. Let's say king to d1, then king to e3, king to c2, king to d4. And now, white is forced to make a move. So king to c1 and king takes on d3. A move, king takes on e4. And white is losing. So after c4, Paul Morphy captures the pawn, d takes on c4, king takes on e4, king to e2, king to d4, king to f3, king takes on c4. And Paul Morphy is not resigning, and he played king to e4, king to b4, king takes on e5, king takes on a4, king to d4, king to b4, and the game ended here. King to b4 is the last move of the game. And after this move, Paul Morphy resigned once again for the second time against Loewenthal. Another historic day for the chess world. And after king to b4, white is losing. And let me show you the possible continuation very quickly. So white can't defend the pawn. And there is no drawing chances for white. And as you can see, black is promoting a queen. And white is losing every hope. So this is why after king to b4, Paul Morphy resigned. But still Paul Morphy has the huge advantage. And Paul Morphy is crushing Loewenthal, no matter what. So Paul Morphy is leading with 5.5 points. And Loewenthal is only 2.5 points against Paul Morphy. Paul Morphy has 3 extra points. But I think Loewenthal is still holding on. And he is still keeping the hope alive, although it's very difficult to come back against Paul Morphy after this score. Well, in the endgame, of course, Paul Morphy should stay in the third rank. Or maybe he should play a move like maybe king to g4. And maybe then, black would never had any opportunity for winning the game. But strangely, Paul Morphy moved to the south. And he played some careless moves. And then he lost the game, which was very interesting. And Paul Morphy botched up the endgame very badly. I can only say that. This was a dead draw. So anyway, after king to b4, Paul Morphy resigned. And I see you guys next time in game 9. So take care and bye bye for now.